So if I were to ask you a mystery number plus 7 equals 15, can you figure out what that mystery number is? Most people can, but what you did is you just solved an equation in your head. Welcome to Phorge Mathematics. I'm Ryan, and today we're breaking down one of the most important skills in algebra, solving equations. We'll start simple, one-step equations, and then we'll build into two-step equations. And by the end of this video, you'll have a reliable process that works every single time. Let's dive into it. Okay, so by the end of this video, you'll be able to understand what an equation is and what it means to solve one. You'll solve any one-step equation using inverse operations. That's part of the 5 properties that we talked about in an earlier video, which will be linked down below. And then you'll be able to solve two-step equations by working in reverse order of PEMDAS. And then you'll identify and avoid the most common solving mistakes when you're solving an equation. So part 1, what is an equation? So an equation is a mathematical statement saying two expressions are equal. So remember, an expression is made up of terms, coefficients, and constants. But what makes an equation is actually that equal sign that says equal something else. So remember in the opening example, x plus, which is a mystery number, is equal to 15. So if we had just said x plus 7, that's an expression. But when you add that equal signs, it balances out kind of like on this scale. And it's saying x plus 7 is equal to 15. That is what makes it an equation. So that key concept is that scale. So remember, equals is saying that they are equal to each other, which means they're balanced. If you were to put both sides on a scale, they would be perfectly balanced. Inverse operations, this is actually the key to solving. So inverse operations are the opposite operation undoes the original. So for example, remember in PEMDAS, we have, when we move down to multiplication / division, so if you have 4x and you're trying to get just x, you would divide by 4, and that equals just x. So same thing with addition and subtraction. So addition / subtraction. So let's say we have x plus 3. If we want to get that equals, let's just say 0. So if we wanted to figure out what x equals, we just subtract, which is the opposite of addition, and then you subtract both sides. X is equal to -3. Okay, so let's say that you're trying to do some strength training. If you loaded 45 pounds onto the bar, you load 45 pounds to get back to 0 to make sure that's perfectly balanced. Because if you add 45 pounds on one side, then you need to add 45 pounds on the other. So that's to get back to 0, to make they're perfectly balanced, you need to subtract 45 one side and then 45 from the other when you're taking those 45 pounds off of the bar whenever you're in the squat rack. So it's the same thing in equations. If something was added, you have to subtract and undo it. And if something was multiplied, you divide. Okay. Let's move into solving one-step equations. So first you need to identify the operation being done to the variable. So let's say we have x plus 9 is equal to 14. So what is being done to the variable? So remember, the variable is a number that we don't know what it is, what it stands for quite yet. We're going to figure it out, but we don't know what it is right now. So in this case, x is going to be that variable. So what are we doing to it? We're adding 9. So what's the inverse of addition? Subtraction. That's right. So subtract 9. You need to subtract 9 from both sides. Both sides. Always remember that. And so you have x. And what's 14 minus 9? That's just equal to 5. So let's now look at if we had 3n equal to 21. So what is happening to the variable? Let's go back to the top. The variable is n. What are we doing to it? 3 times n. What's the opposite of multiplication? Division. So what I do is I write 3 like a line like that, like such as make this a fraction, these cancel out. You did always remember both sides. Whatever you do on one side, do to the other side of the equation. So divide by 3. So the 3's on the left here cancel out, so we're just left with n. And then 21 divided by 3, you remember your multiplication tables? Okay, it's 7. So, and then you just simplify, and then you check by substituting back in. So let's go back and substitute over here on the left. So we say x is equal to 5, so 5 plus 9 is equal to 14. 5 plus 9 is 14, equals 14. Good answer. All right, let's go back and substitute on the right-hand side. So n is equal to 7. 3 times 7 is equal to 21. Is 3 times 7 equal to 21? Absolutely. Boom. Good to go. Okay. Two-step equations. So two operations in the variable to undo in reverse order. So step one, we always want to start with the opposite of PEMDAS. So if you remember PEMDAS, always right on the side, and now instead of working from top to bottom, we're going from bottom to top. And so we're going to start off with addition / subtraction, and then move on to multiplication, division, and then if there's any exponents or parentheses, then we'll do those last. So let's start with a simple one. 2x plus 3 is equal to 11. So do we have any addition or subtraction? We have an addition, so what's the opposite of addition? Subtraction, minus 3. Make sure we do it on both sides. And so these cancel out. These cancel out. 11 minus 3 is 8. And now we just bring this 2x down. So we have 2x equal to 8. And now, do we have any more addition? No, we do not. So now what we can do is we can, what is happening to the variable? We're multiplying it by 2. So let's say we divide this by 2. Divide it by 2 because the opposite of multiplication is division. These cancel out. So now we're left with x on the left-hand side. 8 divided by 2 is 4, and we're left with x is equal to 4. So now let's double check that we got it right by plugging x back into our original equation of 2x plus 3. So now we have 2 times 4 plus 3 is equal to 11. So now that we're evaluating this expression, we need to go from top to bottom using PEMDAS. Do we have any parentheses? Not right now. Do we have any exponents? No, we do not. Do we have any multiplication or division? We do. We have 2 times 4, which is equal to 8. Then we have plus 3 equal to 11. Any more multiplication or division? Nope. So now we can move down to addition / subtraction. So 8 plus 3 is equal to 11. So we have 11 equal to 11. Boom. True statement. Good to go. So I want to think about this like suiting up. Let's say you're going snowboarding. You're not going to put on the. You can't just attach the snowboard straight to your socks. You need to put on your snow boots so that you can attach those boots to the snowboard so you can go snowboarding down the mountain. So think of it like that. There's a specific order that you have to do. And then when you're doing the same thing, you're not going to just take your boots off and then walk around in your socks when you take them off. You're going to unclip from your snowboard, and then you're going to walk in your snow boots, and then you're going to take those boots off once you get back inside so you're not walking around in socks outside. Let's go through some worked examples here. So n minus 4 is equal to 11. This should be pretty easy. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to write PEMDAS off to the side to keep myself straight when I'm working on and then since we're solving an equation, I'm going to put that arrow going from top to bottom. So we have n minus 4 equal 11. Any addition / subtraction? Minus 4. So we're going to add 4 to both sides. And now we're looking at n is equal to 15. Okay, let's double check our answer. Let's put n equal 15 back into that. So we have 15 minus 4 equal to 11. 11 minus, excuse me, 15 minus 4 is equal to 11, which is equal to 11. Boom, good to go. So let's write PEMDAS for one last time off to the side just to make sure that I keep myself straight. And then we're solving equations, so top to bottom. X divided by 5. So what's the opposite of x divided by 5? Multiplication. So we need to multiply each side by 5. So multiply by 5, multiply by 5. So now we're looking like x is equal to 30. Cool. So now let's put this back into the equation, solve it, and see if we can get the same answer. So we have 30 divided by 5 is equal to 6. What's 30 divided by 6? Excuse me, 30 divided by 5. That's going to simplify down to 6, equal to the right side. Boom. 6 is equal to 6. Good to go. All right. Now let's move into a two-step problem. So let's write PEMDAS off to the side. What's going on? All right, I'm just going to write down here. That's not going to work either. Oh, that was weird. Okay, so 3x minus 7 is equal to 14. So a trainer charges $3 per class plus a $7 registration fee is equal to $14 total. Find the number of classes. So let's go ahead and figure out how many classes this person took. Let's start off with writing it down here. 3, geez, what's going on? 3x minus 7 is equal to 14. Okay. Now, do we have, now we're going from top to bottom. So addition / subtraction. Do we have any addition? Yep, there's subtraction, so we just need to add. Plus 7 on both sides. 3x, both 3x equal to 21. So now, do we have any more addition? No. So now we're moving on to multiplication because we're doing 3 times x. So we're going to divide by 3, and now we're looking at x is equal to 7. So we got 7 classes. When you can plug 7 back into the equation and check see if we're right. So 3 times 7 minus 7 is equal to 14. Okay, so now that we're going from evaluating an expression, we're going from top to bottom. Do we have any parentheses? Nope, no parentheses. Do we have any exponents? No. Multiplication? Yep, 3 times 7. What's 3 times 7? 21. Minus 7 is equal to 14. 21 minus 7 is equal to 14. 14 equal to 14, we're good to go. Okay, let's take a look at example number 4. It's a trap problem. So let's figure out what the trap is going to be. We'll write PEMDAS off to the side, keep ourselves straight. And since we're doing an expression, we're going from top, or from bottom to top. So we have 5 minus x equal to 3. What we need to do is we need to add x to both sides to get it 3 plus x. And so we have 5 is equal to 3 plus x. Now we need to subtract 3 from both sides, and now we're looking at 2 equal to x. So you need to be careful. If you're going to add x to both sides, you need to do that. But if you also wanted to do, you could have done negative x. You could have subtracted by 5 on both sides. So you would have had negative x, 3 minus 5. it would have negative x equal to negative 2. Now you can't. Now what you're going to do is you could divide, or you can multiply by negative 1 on both sides to get x equal to 2. But you got to be careful with those signs, that if you ever have a negative x and you multiply by negative 1, to flip the sign on the other side. Okay. All right, let's move on to some common mistakes. So adding or subtracting to one side only, you must do it to both sides. I've made that mistake 100 times myself. So make sure that you do it to both sides, both left and right. Wrong order in a two-step equations, undoing the uh, the multiplication before doing addition and subtraction. Dividing by negative 1, if x is equal to negative 1, negative 2, divide both sides by negative 1 to get x positive. So make sure that when you're dividing, if you have a negative x, that when you multiply it to both sides. Not checking, always substitute your answer back into the original. Every time that I take a test, I always double check my work because I always make some type of algebra type of mistake. And in this case, I wouldn't be surprised if I made one somewhere along the way. And then flipping the subtraction. So 5 minus x does not equal x minus 5. Okay, let's go on to some practice problems, and then go ahead and pause the video and try your hand at these practice problems. Okay, I want you to go ahead and comment down below how many questions you got right as you double check right here, and then you can follow us at Phorge Mathematics. Hit the like and subscribe button, and thanks for tuning in.